Welcome to another video. My name's Natalie O'Shea and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, which means everything that I'm using today and showing you today is made by a company called Stampin' Up. If you look in the description below, you can find all the links to everything I've used. So if there's something that you fancy, then just head on over to my online shop and you can get it in your paws within the week. But today I'm sharing with you, I promised to do this weeks ago. In early April I went to an event called On Stage, and we tend to give gifts to our downline. So our downline are people that are also demonstrators that signed up with us, so people in our team, and I tend to do them gifts at these events. And one of the gifts, nearly every time I give gifts, they're kind of star themed. We are the Stamping Stars, and so everything I try and do is try to be star themed. So one of the things I bought for people were a star candle. It was a Katie Loxton candle that said sparkle every day or something like that. I'm showing a picture now because I sat there and I gave them all away. I didn't even make one for myself. So today we'll have an end result, but the photo you can see now is the photo of the gifts that I gave to them. So I'm going to switch up a little bit. I thought I'd mix retiring with new. So what I'm going to do is I am going to be using the box is made with this die, so it's the Lots to Love box framelets, and this is the die out of them. And what it's kind of tends to be for is that you put two of these together and it makes a nice long thin box that our note cards fit into. But you can actually make any size box you want. You could make a triangle box, a cube box. Oh, in fact I should probably just grab, hold on. So this box here was made with it with four, so this is obviously a cubed box or a rectangular box, and I made that, and I kind of saw that and thought, right, I need something like that, but it needs to fit a star shape in. So my star shape was Pentagon, so it was a five-sided star. So I thought, right, I've got to be able to do this somehow. So I used this die and I ran it through my cutting machine, Big Shot, and what it does is it cuts out this shape here. And what it actually does, and I'm hoping you can see this on the camera, is it actually cuts, but it puts these score lines in as well. And so you need however many sides you want, you need to cut however many of those that you want. So in this instance, I wanted a pentagon shape, a star shaped, so I needed to cut 5 of these out. And then what I did was this score line here at the bottom is 1 inch up from the bottom. So all 5 of these, I just got my ruler or my trimmer and my scoring tool that I can't find now obviously, and just scored 1 inch from the bottom. So again, you could make these as short or as wide as you could do, but you could, if you wanted a box that was just this wide, you could score there and then you'd have a little dinky box there, but I wanted a bigger one, so I scored them all 1 inch from the bottom. And then what you have to do is actually all the way along this score line here is trim that side off and this little rectangle here. And we're not poking anything in, so we'll get rid of that as well. So you end up, when you get rid of those, and I'll bring in my Blue Peter. Here's what I did earlier. Well, I did it on some. There we go, let's just get rid of those 3 bits there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's those done. So you end up with 5, let's put them all in a row, then you can actually see the shape. So 5 of them that look like this. So you've cut off that bit there, you've cut off that bit there, and they're all scored in addition 1 inch across there. And then we can start sticking them together. Now I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to do this. So I'm going to glue just down that side there, and I'm going to just stick it along there. And again, glue down that side and stick it along there. It's easier to kind of line up these lines here and then make sure you're straight, and then you end up with a pure Blue Peter, something that looks like that. So you've got all 5 together and you've got this one here. So now it's easier with a cube because when you've only got 4 items, you can sit and do it flat and you can glue this bit to there. But when you've got 5, it's a little bit more difficult just to get it right really, but exactly the same. So glue down there, but we can't just kind of fold over exactly, so you have to sit there and do it in mid-air. But I'm lining that up. There we go. And so you can see there, hopefully, there's our kind of pentagon shape. Now these have a rounded top and we've got a flat bottom. So we're going to be folding where you've scored those in. You think, great, but I've got a hole in my bottom. So what we need to do is we need to reinforce the bottom. So what I actually did was I kind of did it as a template really. I grabbed a piece of black card, and let's say that's my piece of black card. In fact, no, that can do. And I just kind of folded those in, positioned it how I wanted it to be, and drew round it and used it as a template. And then once I'd drawn my template, I went inside the line. So it wasn't, because if you're drawing round, it's going to obviously be bigger, so you want to make it slightly smaller. So I cut inside the lines and ended up with 2 pentagons like that. So what I want to do now is I'm going to, because if I do that, you can see it's, that's better, something like that. It's just smaller, slightly smaller, so you've got this gap going round the edge. And I'm going to be putting one on the outside and one on the inside. So let's do that next. So I'll put the glue around the edge there. This was, say, just done by hand. It wasn't a template or a die or anything like that. And this is where you find out how good you are at holding sides together. Right, let's, and you want it to be as neat as you can, but it is the bottom of the box, so people aren't going to be spending too much time looking at it. And I just do that really lightly, flip it over, get a bone folder, and then just push it down there. And that probably would be enough. It's quite sturdy, but I don't want, I don't know if you can see it, I don't want that inside showing, so I'm just going to do the same again, and I'm just going to put snail or tape or whatever you want to do. Right, which way? I think that way. And just reinforce those bottoms. And again, bone folder it in, just to, and that now really is a very strong box with a solid bottom. There's nothing like having a solid bottom. So that's our kind of box made really. But obviously you'll find now if you were to put those in, again you've got a hole in the top now. Because this is only supposed to be really a 2-sided box, although it did work with the 4-sided like that as well. The 5 just starts making a gap in the middle. So obviously I put my bits inside. And again, it's up to you how you fold these. Some people have to overlap and it has to be the exact right way, and that one needs to go under there, and there you go, it does kind of stay shut like that. But of course you want something to hold in the middle. And I've just realised I've kind of done something the wrong way round, but it will still work, so it doesn't matter. So let's do this top first. So what I did is the sentiment I actually used for theirs was, today we celebrate wonderful, brilliant, fabulous you. It's from the Picture Perfect birthday stamp set. This does carry over to the new catalogue, yay, because it is a great set for birthdays. So in the picture you obviously saw that I used greens and glimmer card and things like that, but what I'm actually going to do is use the new Share What We Love pattern paper. So you can get this at the moment just during May in bundles, which gets you some free items, and from June the 1st you'll be able to buy it independently. So these are actually going to go on the sides. I'll give you the dimensions of these. So I've got some rich raspberry on the back, and that is 7 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres, and so the pattern paper is just 0.5 centimetre smaller, just so we have a small gap around the outside. So that's 6.5 by 9. And in fact, let's put those on, shall we? We could do that last. And to be fair, I would do this before I'd stuck the box together. But you know, this is video. Oh, hello, let's do it straight. So it's not impossible to do. And I say it's quite a sturdy box now. And I even here's one I did earlier. So 6.5 by 9 for the pattern paper. That's one side of it, the nice flower, and the nice script with all the Latin flower names. I think it's Latin flower names anyway on there. And we'll stick that one like that. So 5 of those. Make sure you've got your flowers growing the right way. Don't want upside down flowers. There we go. And again, I'd probably use something a little bit stronger than snail, but for this purposes, this is fine. Tombow or the tear and tape would be good, but for ease of video, snail's just fine. It's not that snail's no good, snail's perfect. So sometimes if the box is going to wiggle a little bit, you want something just a little bit stronger. But there we go. So doesn't that look fab? Oh, there we go, give them a good... So there we go, we've now got pattern sides, which look lovely. And so for our sentiment, or whatever we're going to do, I've actually just picked a same stamp set, but I've just done treat yourself, because obviously this could be a treat bag for anything. And let's, so rich raspberry ink, and on mint macaron. Love, love, love that mint macaron is coming back. Yay! One of my favouriteest colours. So, and love it in this sweet. It's really lovely. So rich ras and the treat yourself. Actually then going to use the 1.5 inch circle, and I always do them upside down. And I'm not reading it. I'm not interested in reading it. What I'm interested in is making sure that it's as central as I can get it, whilst being straight. That'll do. So one of those. So 1.5 inches for that. Then I've got my pattern paper, and I'm using 2.25. Let's go 2.25 inch circle punch, and I'm going to get some nice colour on that. So lots of different flowers on that. And then I'm actually using my 2.5 inch circle punch, which is actually retired. But if you've got dies or anything, or you could make this one the 2.25 and then go down to the 2 inch, and then whatever you want to do. But I like a nice big circle. And it's so good. It's got some, I had some rich ras on there as well. So, ooh, there we go. So 2.5 inches for me, with a 2.25 inch in the pattern paper, and the 1.5 inch for the treat yourself. And I just layer that up. So I love a dimension. I love adding dimensions to it. And the small centre means you see more of the pattern paper as well. So perhaps let's do that. Oh no, it does go that way. There we go. And so again, in pure Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. So you can see I've got dimensions on the back there, dimensions on the back of that, dimensions on the back of that. And I've just added a couple of rhinestones. I've still got the old style rhinestones here, but a couple of the rhinestones, and stuck those on as well. And then when we bring our box back, so I wanted this to be, I was giving this to demonstrators, so I knew they'd want to keep the box. They wouldn't kind of rip it open like some people might. So whilst I could have stuck on another Pentagon really stiffly and they'd have to have ripped it all open, I knew they wouldn't want to. So I just thought a couple of dimensions on the back just puts that, let's put that on, just closes it enough that they can't see what's inside it, just closes it enough so it closes, but they can tease it off without ruining the box. And they can reuse it, upcycle it, whatever you like. So there we go. How quick and easy was that? I know I skipped a few Blue Peter bits, but that's the box. Just in the Share What You Love papers. And I just think that's really effective. Love it, love it, love it. So if you like the Share What You Love papers, say you've got a link down below where you can buy those. This die is retiring though. So you can only get your hands on it until May the 31st. So if you're watching this video after May the 31st, you're too late. Unless it appears in the clearance rack, which it may not do for a year or 3, then this is really useful. I mean, you do get, I should probably show you, it's not just that die. You do get lots of other dies as well. There's a banner in there, there's a heart, a couple of hearts in there, or in fact 4 hearts in there, some sprigs there, and this is actually just to make you know, like a little, what's the word? It makes the gift card. You know when you put a gift card, if they say the gift card is in there and it slots into 2 half moon shapes, then that's what that does. Those 2 bits do the 2 half moon shapes in the middle of your card to hold a gift card in place. So yeah, so it's a really useful set. So it's not just, although it's worth it just for this die, you do get other dies in the set as well. And that is the Lots to Love box framelit dies, 145653, and the Share What You Love pattern papers, and the Picture Perfect birthday. So hope you've enjoyed that. Hope it inspires you to make some boxes. I'm quite an easy girl when it comes to boxes. 3D items normally scare me, but I was really pleased with how these turned out. So if you've liked this video, then give me a thumbs up. I'd love it if you'd leave a comment. And if you don't already subscribe, then give us a subscribe as well, and you'll get notified next time I send a video out as well. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.